government shutdown.
One day government shutdown in Decatur. All right. Don't need to do anything up there, Kurt? Or is it good? Okay, it's 4:31. We'll call this meeting of the Board of Zoning Appeals to order. The first item on our agenda tonight is an approval of the minutes of the previous meeting, so I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, second item on our agenda is a motion to approve make the matter of public record the proof of publication.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. The next item is to make a matter of public record the affidavits for all applicants' petitions tonight.
I'll make a motion.
Motion.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, we have 5 petitions before the board tonight. The first of which is for Rodney Nouse of 207 Brant Court in Decatur, requesting a 5-foot variance for a 5-foot side yard setback, referring to City Code 150.046 for minimum side yards. A principal and accessory building should have a side yard of no less than 10 feet. So, Mr. Nouse? Yes, sir. Hi there. Could you walk us through what the application is all about?
Kind of self-explanatory, but I have a fence 3 foot from my property line. So I wanted to build a shed, put a patio and a sidewalk. I don't have a backyard, I just have a side yard. Totally forgot about the 10-foot side setbacks. You know, I can remember the front and the back, 45 feet and
Yeah,
20
gotcha.
feet, but didn't think anything of the 10-foot setback on the side, because I already have a fence there. So
Gotcha.
that's where I wanted to build a shed, and I think it's about 27 feet at least to the neighbor's closest structure.
Okay. All right, I drove by this morning. I drove by and looked at it this morning, so it's going to be up against the fence, I assume, or awfully close to it, 2 feet from the fence.
It's about 2 foot from the fence. I actually went out and found property pins front to back,
Okay,
and that property line is exactly 3 feet from the fence.
okay,
So where he's gonna be at, he's gonna be exactly 5 feet, which meets Indiana Fire Code.
just fire code, no obstruction to structures anywhere else. Any questions from the board?
No.
No line of sight, no issues. Yeah.
Okay. At this point, we would hear comments from anyone in the audience in opposition. That would last 2 minutes per person. Okay, hearing none, we would hear comments from those in favor. Okay, hearing none, I'd ask the board for any final questions or comments.
Nope.
No.
Okay, we'll move on to the findings of fact. What do variance. Okay, in considering all appeals or variances to this chapter, the board shall first determine that the granting of the granting of the variance will not permit any use in any district which would be in conflict with the permitted uses of the district under the terms of this chapter. Yes, agree, or no, disagree.
Yes.
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 It will not impair an adequate supply of light and air to adjacent property.
Yes.
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 It will not unreasonably increase the congestion in public streets.
Yes.
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 It will not increase the danger of fire or of the public safety.
Yes.
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 It will not unreasonably diminish or impair established property values within the surrounding area.
Yes.
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 It will not in any other respect impair the public health, comfort, safety, morals, or welfare of the inhabitants of the city.
Yes.
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 It is therefore the decision of this board that the petition for variance is granted or denied.
Granted.
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 Okay. All right, Mr. Nouse, just work with Kurt and the team and we should be good to go. Lost my paper. There.
Take your pick.
Mhm.
No. Paper.
Okay, the next two petitions before the board are from Jim and Phyllis Whitwright of 355 South Third Street here in Decatur. First, they're requesting a 15-foot variance for an 18-foot front yard setback from the center of Third Street, which refers to City Code 150.070 for minimum front yards. The building setback line shall be 25 feet from the front lot line or 55 feet from the center line of the street or road, whichever is greater. Jim and Phyllis, you want to walk us through what, this first one here?
That's the water bottle.
We just wanna put up a fence on Patterson and on Third Street. It's more like a funeral home has. It's with pillars and,
Masonry pillars, wrought iron pins,
Yeah.
basically, masonry pillars.
Gotcha. So this one is for the Third Street side,
Yeah.
correct?
Correct.
So that would be, yeah, right in the front of your house, I guess.
That's correct.
Cause you have Patterson already. Is the Patterson one already up?
Yes.
Patterson's
No.
next.
Yeah, Patterson's next.
Never mind, we're on the Third Street.
Yes, any questions from the board about what they're trying to accomplish?
Reviewed that last meeting, correct? Yeah.
Correct, and so the 25 foot from the front property line is out the window, cause the right of way comes right up to the house on both sides.
Yeah.
So we had to write it from the center of the street, and then looking at the right of way that does come into their property, we do not have any city utilities whatsoever in that area. So we did have them sign waivers as well.
Okay.
For both, so.
Yeah, there won't be any sight line issues with the way it's set up, right?
There's no sideline issues with this.
Okay. Any other questions from the board? Okay, then we would hear from, for 2 minutes, any comments from those in opposition? Coach stands up. Okay, we would hearing none or seeing none, we would, ask for comments, for those in favor. Seeing and hearing none, I'd ask for any final comments or questions from the board. Okay, we'll move on to the findings of fact for the front yard variance. So the granting of the variance will not permit any use in any district which will be in conflict with permitted uses of the district under the terms of this chapter. Yes, agree, or no, disagree?
Yes.
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 It will not impair an adequate supply of light and air to adjacent property.
Yes.
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 It will not unreasonably increase the congestion in public streets.
Yes.
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 It will not increase the danger of fire or of the public safety.
Yes.
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 It will not unreasonably diminish or impair established property values within the surrounding area.
Yes.
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 It will not in any other respect impair the public health, comfort, safety, morals, or welfare of the inhabitants of the city.
Yes.
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 It is therefore the decision of this board that the petition for variance is granted or denied.
Granted.
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 Okay. That's the first one. So we'll move on to the second petition here from Jim and Phyllis for the 9-foot variance for a 28-foot, 7-inch front yard setback from the center of Patterson Street, which refers to City Code 150.070 again, that the building setback line shall be 25 feet from the front lot line or 55 feet from the center line of the street or road, whichever is greater. So this is the Patterson Street side, right? And the fence will run along that sidewalk, I assume, back toward the Boys and Girls Club and that direction. Chris. Any questions from the board?
No, it's pretty cut and dry.
Yep.
Okay, and we would hear for, comments from those in opposition. Seeing and hearing none, comments from those in favor. Seeing and hearing none, I would ask any further questions from the board, comments?
None.
Okay. So we'll move to the findings of fact. The granting of the variance will not permit any use in any district which would be in conflict with the permitted uses of the district under the terms of this chapter. Yes, agree, no, disagree.
Yes.
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 It will not impair an adequate supply of light and air to adjacent property.
Yes.
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 It will not unreasonably increase the congestion in public streets.
Yes.
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 It will not increase the danger of fire or of the public safety.
Yes.
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 It will not unreasonably diminish or impair established property values within the surrounding area.
Yes.
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 It will not in any other respect impair the public health, comfort, safety, morals, or welfare of the inhabitants of the city.
Yes.
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 It is therefore the decision of this board that the petition for variance is granted or denied.
Granted.
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 Okay. Thank you, Jim and Phyllis.
Thank you.
That way. This goes with my first one. We'll get you this one.
How's it?
This
Now.
is your, yeah.
I'm going by Massachusetts ever.
Pull these pictures off in case we need them.
Let me see this real quick, Shane.
Oh, here's the photography pictures. Should probably put east on there.
Here's your second.
Okay.
Okay.
Thinking this is
All good?
what-
Okay, the next petition before us tonight is from Dan Mahor on behalf of the Adams County Sheriff's Department of 911 Peacekeepers Way here in Decatur, requesting a special exception for an outdoor shooting range in an ag-zoned area. Sheriff, and who's with you?
Nate Rumslug, County Engineer.
Thank you. You could walk us through what the plan is here, what the request is?
Yes, when the property, the county purchased the property for the jail build that took place in start by 15, they bought a 76-acre farm located in jail out on that facility. After the jail was completed, if you've been back there, there's a large earth embankment back there. That was the topsoil to the property that the commissioners never, they saved money, didn't spread that topsoil back out. So it's been sitting there unused since the inception of the jail. It is my intention to turn that burn pile into a firearms range, outdoor firearms range, that my officers can use to train, which we are required to by law. So we're going to modify that earth embankment some a little bit by adding some French drains into it, building it up higher and angling it down. We're basically shooting to the east, and when we shape the mounds, there will be a downward angle from it, which helps trajectory of any bullets and stuff that we're going to be using. We shoot two types of firearms, a pistol and a rifle, a .223 rifle, and that is what will be used out on our range when we train. We train with the weapons that are issued. The mounds to the east, well, the picture that I gave you, the earth embankment will be 18 foot high in a horseshoe shaped diagram, basically. And we'll be shooting towards the east into that 18-foot embankment. Most of our shooting is done daylight hours. Coming up, we just did it last week. We call our dim or low light shooting. We do in the wintertime when it gets dark at 5 o'clock, so we're not shooting late. I have no problems by stipulating that we will never shoot past 8 o'clock at night, if that helps with any people having issues. But we do our night shoot in the wintertime when it gets dark at 5:30, so we have plenty of time to shoot. People ask me, why are we doing it here? Why not use the other ranges? Well, right now we shoot at the burn range, and we're at their mercy. And we cannot shoot there until after 3:30 because that range is located on their water department property. So I'm very limited when I can shoot, which causes overtime issues for me. And honestly, we're shooting when people are at home in the evenings in the summertime and stuff like that. And I don't like that. I'd rather be shooting during normal business hours of 9 to 4, 9 to 5, 9 to 8 p.m., whatever. We don't shoot early in the morning. Also with the control of the range too, again, if something happens at the burn range, even though it's not my personnel that are on it, the county's gonna get tied into litigation. Same thing if I shoot at the city range. If something happens there, and even though I'm not on the range, we're still gonna get tied up in litigation. I wanna be controlling my range, cause then I'm responsible for it. I'm not responsible for the burn range, I wouldn't be responsible for the someone else to blame. That's the other reason why I prefer to have our own range. It is on our property, we are in the ag, we are zoned ag. There's nobody close to us. We have a couple different wood lines between us and any other residences, which will help if and when, because I will say this publicly, and I've said it before when I tried to at Gold Meadows, I cannot guarantee a bullet will not come out of that range. And if anybody says they can guarantee that, they're lying to you. I cannot guarantee that, but I am doing everything possible to keep my bullets in the range, other than building an indoor facility, which I cannot afford to do. That is not even practical to say to build an indoor range. So I believe with the supervision that I provide on my range, with the training, stuff like that, I am going to reduce that possibility as much as anybody else can. Are there other ranges in the city? Yes, Bluffton has a range in the middle of their city. This is not in the middle of the city, but it is in the city property. The city's range is not in the city, it's on the fringe of the city. So I know there's gonna be complaints about noise, things like that. With the distance that we have, with the tree lines that we have, I just don't see that as being a huge issue with noise. And it's not like the range is gonna be used every day. We shoot primarily 4 times a year as a department, where we'll shoot anywhere from 2 to 3 days in a row. Other than that, the range will be used sporadically by my officers when they wanna go out and shoot and train and do things. Do I have plans on opening this to the public or anything like that? No, but I do have plans on hosting schools where I can bring in other firearms instructors from outside that can teach us new tactics, new things. Will that happen often? No, but I'm not gonna say it's not gonna happen. So there will be times where other people will be using my range, but more than likely they're gonna be officers from other departments when we host a school. Trying to think of what some of the other issues that have been brought up in the past. I think that's basically all I have, unless you guys have questions for me.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, Tom, any questions from the board?
I have a quick question. The rifles you use, how far do the bullets go versus like the closest house, per se?
Well, that's tricky. If I hold the gun up at a 45 and just shoot out, that bullet can go for 2 to 3 miles.
Okay.
It's a 223 round, so it can go. My pistols will go a mile, but as far as shooting into the earth embankment, that earth embankment's going to be. Do you remember how wide that is?
Oh, this is your 60 feet odd wide at the base for this. With this right now, the existing horseshoe is only about 14 foot tall at the height of that berm. The berm was laid out intending almost to create a pistol range at some point, but to make this more viable, we certainly changed some areas of this. But we did increase the height of this. So if you've ever been out there, this is about 4 to 6 feet taller than the highest point on the existing berm that's there, and this is now 18 feet tall, encompassing both the northeast and south side of the actual shooting area, which is about 143 feet wide and 82 feet tall, I guess, in that rectangle, shape that you're seeing there. So
Nate, what is the fall then?
the slope is 2 to 1. It's going to need some permanent ground cover on it to hold that. It's not the intent of the department to mow that. They're going to put some low ground cover that would stay native there continuously.
Okay.
And that would hopefully assist with some of the noise. Certainly trees or landscaping could be added to this. Something the sheriff didn't mention in this is that it is our intent with this. So my part was kind of as a technical advisor to draft out a conceptual plan. We did lower this a bit, which is why there's a French drain. That way is to make it a little easier to get the height of this mound as high as we did. We established 18 feet because it was the highest mound that we could find of any range in the area. We're not aware of any range that's got berms higher than 18 feet, and typically they're only on the backside of the direction of shooting. We actually have encompassed 2 additional angles on that at that height. So this is significantly higher than most, and to try to provide that level of safety.
And noise reduction also.
Yeah, so, and being adjacent to industrial facilities nearby where noise is pretty typical, certainly we didn't think that would be as much of a concern from that standpoint. Our plan is to consultant to finalize the plans, versus trying to do it all in-house. We thought at this point, get up to BZA, and then we're gonna work with another firm to finalize the grading plan. The only permit that I'm aware of that we would need beyond this, because there's no permanent structures, is to get an erosion control permit, so we'll have to seek that. But we'll have that developed prior to construction.
Okay. Any other questions from the board?
No, we did.
And then, so you said, I just wanna get it all, you're required to do 4 hours per officer, correct? Training?
Per year.
Per year, correct, okay.
That's a minimum requirement.
Yes.
We shoot more than that,
Yeah, obviously.
but
just-
that is the
that's
minimum. I'm
okay.
required by statute.
And then you're looking at, you said like 9 to 5 is what you were probably gonna shoot for?
Usually that's typical, and then, on our winter shoot, our
Yeah, you
low
got
light shoot, we'll start shooting like at 5 and shoot, and we'll be done before 8.
And you only have one during the winter, do you have a summer?
No,
No, so you just have one night shoot?
correct.
Okay,
And there'll be 2 to 3 days at that time frame, but it only happens one time a year.
okay. So 2 to 3 days, you'll be from 5 to,
So maybe
8.
8, maybe.
Okay, and everything else would be like 9 to 5, somewhere
Correct.
there. And do we know, because you're shooting east, is that correct?
Correct.
What the proximity is to a home? The closest home shooting
The
east?
first home was over on 100 East.
Okay,
We're shooting south of Homestead Edition, that's not in the line. We're south of the hospital. There are a few homes on 100 East that you could consider that would be in the direction that we're shooting.
okay,
But like, Mr. Shove asked, if around literally just goes, because
yeah,
it's Nayland discharge, that's going well past that. I mean, that's not gonna fall within a mile of where those homes are. Now, if something by chance somehow would ricochet off of something or something like that, then that could, but the power of the bullet at that point is a whole lot less than could cause, it still could cause damage, yes,
Yeah.
but I can't guarantee you a round's not gonna come out.
sure.
So
Shouldn't,
I'll never, no,
but-
it shouldn't,
Yeah.
but again, never say never.
Correct, so,
To the sheriff's point too, that discussion happens, and we had heard that some of those comments before, but if an officer is there with the range master, and you've got the sheriff and your boss working with you, you're gonna be, as a deputy working within the department, the risk of that's gonna be fairly low, and then certainly if someone has a negligent discharge in the range, it's gonna be documented who did it, when it happened, so that is certainly followed up on, and there's gonna be repercussions for
Yeah.
It's not a bunch of guys out there just shooting at the range for fun. This is part of the training process.
Correct, yeah.
I think that sometimes gets lost, not by anything that you're saying here, but certainly I don't want anybody to think that this isn't gonna be an unprofessional facility that the sheriff would operate at all.
I'm not sure that the initial question was fully answered. It's understood that the range would be located south of the Homestead Addition, that shooting would occur to the east, but what is the proximity to the nearest homes on that road?
I believe
The
100
distance?
East is almost a mile from the range, so
Okay.
probably just under a mile is where those homes are located. I'd say somewhere between three-quarters of a mile and a mile is where those homes are located.
I'm gonna bring this up on GIS right now and see if I can get you a better answer.
Yeah, I do apologize. The AV is not connecting for some reason,
Correct.
so.
yeah, so we can't pull it up.
He's gonna
But-
I'm
map
gonna
it
try
out.
to do it on my phone, so.
While he's pulling that up, I guess a question I would have is, Allen County has a range that's basically in the middle of nowhere, right? And now it's by,
Well, actually, it's right across the street from Chapman School.
Prince Chapman Academy, but then you've got the Google Dataplex or whatever going in there, right? And then you've got there's a waste management, I think, facility on the backside
Right
of it.
backside of it.
And you mentioned litigation earlier, potential litigation. I mean, I'm sure there's an insurance rider or something that can go along with utilizing someone else's facility to help cover that litigation cost or cover it in totality. So I just, as a taxpayer and obviously a concerned party here, just wonder why not look into other facilities that have the type of range that you're looking into here in town, so we don't have, I'm just wondering why we have to have one in town. I understand the training, and believe me, I want our officers to be the best trained, most well-trained officers in the state, if at all possible, right? But It just seems like there are potential options out there, even if it's the city range that exists today. And if that's the only hangup is the litigation and potential, whatever lawsuit or whatever may come of it, that there should be some workaround for that.
Well, you have the attorney sitting next to you on that one. She's better qualified to answer that question than I am. But as far as why do I not go to Allen County, because at each time you shoot, half of my police force will be out of county, and that is not acceptable to me. In case something happens here,
Gotcha.
not acceptable. So I want to keep my people in my county. So that's the main reason, that aspect of it. But as far as the litigation aspect of it, I can't answer that question. That'd be something more for the attorneys to answer. But I just know that if we share ranges like I do right now, if something happens on that range, I get brought into it even though I wasn't on that range. You can be sued for anything. I understand that, and you can get taken out of lawsuits at any time too. But I'm just trying to control what I can control, and by doing that is having our own range on our own facility.
Gotcha. And Nate, you mentioned a range master. So is this person?
Well, I have firearm instructors.
Gotcha.
I have two, and when we're on the range training, they are supervising that training.
So always, anytime someone's out shooting.
If an officer goes off duty on their own, want to go shoot, no, they would not necessarily be there. But as a group, we always have them under supervision of one of our firearms instructors.
If you intend to have outside agencies or outside officers coming in to use your range, how does that reduce the risk of litigation any more than sharing a range with a county or a different facility than you have right now?
Because they're under my control. Right now, I don't control burn officers on their range. I only can control my officers on the range. Now, if I'm hosting a school, my firearms instructors will be there, my supervision will be there, so I can control what happens on that range.
Why is that limited to only being on your range? Why don't you have those same individuals overseeing any use at a different range when you're there?
When we're training at those other ranges, they are in control, but I can't control other officers. That could be shooting when I'm not shooting. I have no control over what they do when they're out there on those ranges. And if a negligent round goes out while they're shooting, and there's a tort claim filed, and they find out the county shoots there too, we're gonna get named in it also.
What other sites outside of the jail site have been considered or are
Golden Meadows.
available?
Repurposing Golden Meadows.
Okay.
That was turned down.
Why?
The BZA rejected it. They said it wasn't their, what do you guys call it, your fact-finding questions?
Yes.
Their one of their fact-finding questions, the main one that they said no on was, is it detrimental to that if I don't get my own range? And they said no, because I'm shooting at a range. Even though I could lose that right at any time, but I have a place to shoot, and so that was basically the main point, that it was not detrimental to me if I did not get approved for the range.
That there was basically an insufficient hardship shown to warrant utilizing a range on a different site.
It was not detrimental to me that
Yeah.
they did not pass it, because I could
Fair.
still train.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions from the board at this point?
And to answer the question you asked about the
Oh, yeah.
distances, I think we had, from what I could find on GIS, it's approximately 2,800 feet to the nearest structure.
So about a half mile.
Half a mile.
Just over a half mile.
Thanks for coming back to that, Nate.
Thank you.
And then what did you say, because it is a downward shoot, right? So from your feet to the bottom,
Yeah, so there's about
about
let's see,
approximately how much that falls.
If you're in the bottom of that, it's fairly level, but the intent is for you to be shooting downhill at about an 18 inches down, so about a foot and a half if you're at the back end of that space.
Okay.
As the farther, if
So
you're
it's not
farther
like
out
3
to
or
the
4
west-
feet or anything?
If you're farther out to the west, there's actually more footage to
Okay.
that.
So it is
if you look at
fairly
those
level.
contours, it's fairly level
Okay.
in the area that you're shooting. If they were to set up obstacles and do training like that around the vehicle and such, but if you were shooting farther out, there's going to be a downward angle into that. So you're essentially shooting down into a pit.
Okay.
If you were farther to the west.
And the reason we'd be doing that is when we sight our rifles, we shot our rifles at 5,200, which is 50 feet and 200 feet. So out at 200 feet, we are definitely shooting at a downward angle.
You mentioned off-duty officers. What are they shooting? Anything they want, or
No,
only their the two
The calibers that they shoot would still fall within the same or smaller. They might shoot 380 pistols, some 22 stuff, but nothing should go bigger than, like, we're not shooting 50 calibers and things like that.
What distance do they shoot from? Roughly.
When we train, typically when we train, we are shooting honestly from 25 yards and in usually. That is the main, because if you think about it, police shootings happen usually within 10 feet and last about 3 to 5 seconds with 10 rounds being fired. That's the FBI statistics. So we don't shoot that far out that much until we get our rifles out. And then for there, like I said, we sight in at 200 yards or 200 yards, but typically we shoot 100 yards and in with our rifles also.
Okay, any further questions from the board at this point? Okay.
Kurt, I guess this is kind of something, is there anything, future plans, anything for that property out there currently?
Not that we're aware of, no.
Okay,
And nothing on the county farm property either. There's no,
because it's ag and commercial,
right now it's all zone ag.
it's all ag, okay.
Well,
That's our only ag area in town.
are you guys still possibly talking about running that road through at some point, or the water line going out towards Homestead from the end point of my place?
That I'm not sure.
That's the only thing I've heard of, is maybe the water line going out through the fields to get a different looping, because right now, the main ends at my building, and they've been talking maybe running a water line that way, but that's the only thing I've ever heard of.
I believe that would have stayed north of Forum Run though, so that would not conflict with this directly unless they were to cross the Forum Run and try to run southeast. That would be the only opportunity, but I've not seen any more than just schematic plans of that years ago.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, any further questions from the board at this point? Okay, so at this point, we would hear comments from those in the audience in opposition, and I would just ask that you state your name and address, and then we limit to 2 minutes. And I don't know if Ann has her phone ready, but she'll give you a little nod. What's that?
wants to go sit on
Do they need to come up?
They will need to come up, yeah. Thank you, guys. So we'd hear comments from anyone in opposition that'd like to speak. Please name and address, and you got 2 minutes. Thank you.
Good evening, my name is Dave Thatcher. I live at 4376 North 100 East, Decatur. So I'm that guy that's sitting directly in
The half mile.
line with that. I have approximately 35 acres in my home, at my home there. Most of it is agriculture. It butts up against Homestead. I have fields on both sides of Warm Run. We use the land basically for agriculture. My grandsons will be out riding four-wheelers in those fields. We'll have our gator out there riding in those fields. We make hay in those fields. It's not worth the life of my grandson for them to have a shooting range there, in my opinion. I can show you, or I pulled up this is from the Fort Wayne Journal-Gazette, June 18th, 2015. The Allen County Sheriff's gun range was closed for a stray bullet investigation. The gun range used by the Allen County Sheriff's Department is currently closed due to an investigation of a stray bullet striking a nearby resident. According to the Allen County Sheriff's Department, a woman was struck in the leg, went through her wall of her home, was hit by a stray bullet, and a vehicle close to the range was hit by gunfire. However, Captain Steve Stone of the Allen County Sheriff's Department was telling 20 Mile Live that it was currently unknown if the woman was struck by a bullet that was fired at the range, but Stone did say the department was conducting drills at the range the day of the shooting, and it was later determined that she was indeed struck by gunfire from the shooting range. The range was going to remain being able to control
Mr.
his.
Thatcher, you're approaching 2 minutes.
Okay, I understand his concerns with, being able to take his, care of his officers, but it seems to me it'd be a better use of tax dollars to use the existing shooting range that we already have in the county. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you. Okay, would hear from anyone else in opposition in the crowd?
My name's Jack Harvey. I live a half a mile off of 100 East. And I'm a half a mile from the jail. And I was in the service. I was overseas. And Dan, that 223, when does that start tumbling?
Probably unobstructed, I would say mile, half out or so, maybe more, I'm not sure.
I don't think it's that far. That's all I got to say. I'm done. I'm probably the closest to it, other than Mary Basin's in the way too.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Roby.
My name's John Baker, 4277 North Highway 27, Decatur. Just have a few notes. I got property on both sides of this, on 100 East and 27, and it's gonna basically hurt the property values big time, no matter what we put in. And anyhow, I thought they called them cities because they were highly populated, and you're putting a shooting range in the city? That don't make any sense. And you know, police are all about safety. This is not safe at all, because bullets stray. They get out of all shooting ranges. I don't care what the shooting range is at. I mean, we've got some in the county, and they've got one in Indianapolis where they've had all kind of safety stuff, and they still get away. I mean, I've even had bullets get out of the bedroom of my house when I dropped a gun. So, but anyhow, what caliber they're gonna shoot? I mean, you can say all you want. If you don't have any documentation, you can't limit them. You can't keep them from doing anything. And it's just basically, I think it's more of a want than a need, because they can do, they've been doing other stuff all along, and it's only for 17 people. And it's going to get paid for by tax dollars. And, I realize the residents of the jail, I realize they're used to hearing gunshots, so it's not going to bother them. So, but, they don't need a private range. And Decatur's not a war zone, so they don't, they're getting along fine now, because I'm sure Dan Rickard, if we had a war zone, he's got a bat phone, he can call Trump and have Trump bring the military in, right? I mean, come on. So, basically, to be that close to the population doesn't make any sense. And,
Mr. Baker, you're approaching 2 minutes.
what model was this shooting range designed after? I mean, if it's designed after a mound of dirt, I've got a bunch of them everywhere, and I didn't realize they had so many shooting ranges. So I'll have to, update my insurance. So,
Mr. Baker, your time is up. We appreciate your comments.
what's that?
Your time is up. We appreciate your comments.
Your time is up.
Yeah, 2 minutes are up.
You get 2 minutes. Time's up.
Oh,
Yep.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
your comments.
we're after my notes?
We appreciate it.
I mean,
Thank
I'm
you.
trying to do a filibuster.
Anyone else who would like to speak? Mr. Bright?
Jeff Bright, address 4346 North. I'm between Dave and Jack.
Okay.
I agree with everything they're saying. I mean, if there's any chance that somebody can injure, and I got 3 grandbabies, and they're at my house probably 3 or 4 times a week. And the noise alone, hopefully in a couple of years I'm going to retire. I don't want to be trying to relax by my pool listening to music. I mean, guns going off. Just with gun season opening up, it's bad enough. And for that to be pretty much, I mean, they could have somebody shooting every day, potentially. same way they do. There's other options. And then you said they're shooting a burn. I mean, Decatur's closer. I don't know why they're driving all the way to burn. So, use Decatur range, it's already there. So, I guess that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Any other, okay.
I'm Mary Baker, and I live at 1616 High Street. I'm adjacent to Homestead, and I'm next to Dave Thatcher's property. I've got 15 great-grandchildren and 13 grandchildren, and they're always at the house at different intervals, and I'd be very upset if one of them got hurt by a bullet. I don't think it's necessary for where it's at. I don't understand why they can't use the one the county already has.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mary.
Any other comments from those in opposition? Okay, seeing and hearing none, we would hear comments in the same manner, 2 minutes. Please state your name and address.
My name is Matt Dyer. I'm a member of City Council, and certainly appreciate the concern of everybody here. It is right in your backyard. I don't live anywhere near you. I live on the other side of town, in Lake Shores, next to the city gun range. I've lived there for 10 years. I just wanted to state, I'm not necessarily for or against the shooting range. I do appreciate that by statute and law, they have to train. They have to train somewhere. I'm also president of our homeowners association for Lake Shores. I don't believe it's diminished any value at Lake Shores having a gun range next to us, and it's been very little, if any, problem whatsoever. The police are very good about saying when they're gonna train. They even have night shoots a few times a year. I've been invited back there by the chief of police for shoots. I think I've been back there twice. You'd have to be a terrible shot to miss what they're shooting at. So the chance, while the sheriff is correct, there's never a zero chance of a stray bullet. It's very, very unlikely you have stray bullets from these shooting ranges that are used by professional police officers. So, that's what I have to say. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Matt.
Anyone else to speak in favor?
If they're not concerned about theirs, why can't they, does the county just go over there to shoot at their gun range?
Thank you. Mary, correct? Mary Baker? Thank you. Okay. Okay, seeing and hearing no others that want to speak in favor, I ask the board for any final questions or comments. If you want to come back, Sheriff, and Nate, if you need to come with them. So any further comments or questions from the board?
I guess in looking at it, if, however this goes, is there limitations? Hours, days? I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud if that would be an opportunity.
So one, the Board of Zoning Appeals does not have to take action tonight.
Correct,
The matter
yeah.
could be tabled. It could be taken in under consideration.
Yeah, because I want to actually
different-
look into it a little more before we do anything, but I'm just asking. Dan, I mean, would you be,
I have no problems with time limits, days. I really don't wanna be constrained, you can't shoot on Saturday or Sunday, where it's just, cause it's how we do our scheduling. It's just, we're 24/7.
Sure, yeah.
So, I know you guys usually don't work weekends, but we always do.
I
Normally, we
understand.
do not schedule training on holidays, because that incurs overtime, so I can say that is pretty fair. I have no problem, like, say, 9 AM to nothing before 9 AM and nothing after 8 PM, I have no problem with that. But I really don't wanna restrict days,
okay,
because of our schedules.
Any other questions from the board? I mean, one questions, I'd like to see it, physically see how this is going to work. 'Cause I mean, from the topography that we got and the pictures we saw last time, my assumption was you were shooting straight down into a hole. 18 feet in the air and you were gonna be up somewhere shooting down, but you're shooting basically at a level, right?
Yes, I think, like I said,
Yeah.
from 50 yards in, we're
Yeah.
dropping 18 inches.
Yeah, and I respect the fact that these are professionals, they're well-trained, and you want them to be absolutely trained, right? I just, I think some of the comments we've heard, I think it requires some more diligence on my part, per se. I can't speak for the rest of the board, but that would be my
Going out there,
experience.
looking at it, it's not how it's gonna be finished product, though, I want you to understand that.
Sure, but
you
if
can
we could come out and Nate can walk us through what this looks like, or walk me through, and, you know, individually can go as a couple at a time, I think, right, or?
The board can actually all go at the same time for the purpose of touring and information gathering without it being considered a meeting.
Yeah.
Ideally, it would simply be presentation of information. The board would be obligated not to, you know, thoroughly discuss or make any decisions whatsoever, but for the purposes of information gathering, that would be separate and distinct from a meeting.
We can come anytime.
Yep.
We're open 24/7, so.
Sure.
You let me know when you guys, and if everybody can't make one, if it has to be 2 or 3 different times, we can do that, not a problem.
Okay.
For the purposes of this, do you think a cross-section through the mound and some concepts of scale? I know contours are always kind of deceptive as far as what that means. We don't talk about 18 feet, but what does 18 feet look like when you're actually standing next to that or in essentially within that range? What in scale might that actually look like for you? I might be able to put some drawings together that would add some more context for you as well as a tour with the sheriff. So.
That would be helpful.
Yeah, I mean, I would say whatever can give us the best representation,
All
physical
you
or
have right now
visual.
is a plan view with contours, and it says 18, but
Yeah.
18 compared to what? And when you're talking about a plan view and you're saying, okay, well, what's the grade 2,000 or 3,000 feet away? That may be down or up and behind tree lines, so there could be a larger scale that might be helpful for you.
Yeah, I'm with Shane. I'd like to table this a little bit and look into it a little more.
So,
So it would be appropriate, is that a formal motion?
I
That you
will
would
make a motion to table it.
table
Yep.
this matter until, for further
Correct. Whether this is the next one
investigation
or,
and,
you know, it's either 2 or 4 weeks out, whatever it is.
2 or 4.
do you want 2 or 4?
Yeah, we'll do
Is
2
that the
weeks.
9th,
We'll table it for
23rd,
2 weeks.
is that the 9th then?
That would be that would be December 2nd.
Be the
Why don't we
2nd.
do 4? I'm sorry, we'll do 4. We got the holiday next
Yeah.
and all that.
So the
Correct.
16th?
It would be December 16th.
Yeah, let's
Would be the
table it for
second,
4 weeks.
yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Tabling
Wait,
come,
doing them,
oh, I'm sorry.
do
you
the
got a
motion first.
So there's a motion
I'll
to
make a
table
motion.
for 4 weeks, to allow for additional investigation.
we have
there a
that motion.
second?
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor of tabling until the 16th, December 16th meeting to allow for further investigation and potential tour of the facility? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. So the motion to table further discovery, investigation, reconvene on the 16th. We will be in contact through you, Kurt, I guess, to set up a time or times to come out and get I guess maybe Nate, you need to let us know when you'd be ready to show
I
us.
just need to put couple drawings together for you. I think I've got a conflict on the 16th, so I may not be here as technical advisor with the sheriff, but I think everything that you're asking.
Yeah, if you're gonna give us drawings, we should be able to.
Email that to Dan and Kurt so they can get out to the board, so you'll have that time for the tour, and then I'll leave you in his hands.
And Dan, you had a question?
Yeah,
Two questions. One, do I need to redo an application or any of that?
No.
Then
No.
2, is the meeting on the 16th gonna be just like this one to where I speak, opposition speak, in favor speak, and then you guys, or is it just start up where we start that meeting on the 16th where we finish the day? Or does everybody get to testify again?
It would be, I mean, the period for public comment was today. So this would be discussion among
Yeah.
the board.
The 16th is.
Correct.
So there's no more public, I don't testify, no one else testifies on the 16th. I answer questions if you guys have questions.
Yeah,
Correct.
then we-
Okay.
yeah.
We're allowed to come.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
It's open
It's
to
a
the public,
public,
yeah.
it's
Yep.
still a public meeting. but the period of time for public comment
It's tonight.
Yeah, it's over.
on the matter was today, so.
Yeah, and we've taken notes, we've taken all your comments under advisement, both for and against. So we'll do our diligence and come back on the 16th and, you know, probably have some questions, I would assume, at that
And as
point.
far as morning time, afternoon time, evening time, doesn't matter. So
Okay.
don't let that be, like I said, if you guys want all evening, great. If someone works in the evening and needs it during the day, just let us know. Let them know and we'll get it taken care of.
Okay, so I think we'll wait for Nate to let Kurt know, or Brad, whoever, that he's got whatever physical representation he wants to show us, or pictures, and then we'll schedule something from there and reconvene on the 16th.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Back here. Okay, the last item on our agenda for this evening is for Thomas Rambo of 704 Line Street here in Decatur, is requesting a special exception to run a business kennel in an R1 zoned area, which refers to City Code 150.042. Contingent uses permitted by special exception, home occupation. Mr. Rambo,
Could you explain home occupation to me?
I'll defer to my attorney.
Could you explain home occupation to me?
Like, do you live there?
Yeah, I live there, but the way it's written sounds strange.
I think it's because you're gonna run a business out of your home.
Home,
Okay.
yeah.
Yes, correct, that's the,
Good evening. My name is Tom Rambo, and I'm here today with
Yeah.
full support of Animal Victory, a national animal welfare organization with more than 250,000 members across the United States. I'm requesting a variance and a kennel license so that we continue humane management of Decatur's community cats. Every cat I care for is spayed, neutered, vaccinated, and either adopted out or responsibly returned to its environment at no cost for this city. Animal Victory has provided funding and guidance for this trap neuter return program because it is the only proven humane and lawful way to reduce stray cat population. Under Indiana state law, IC 354637 and IC 354612, it is a criminal offense to intentionally harm, abandon, or kill a vertebrate animal. That includes these community cats. Any individual or entity that harms them is violating state law. I am acting fully within my legal rights. I've complied with all city requirements and am ready to pay the $300 kennel license fee in good faith. I'm not here asking for favors, only for fairness and lawful recognition of the work I'm doing to protect animals and serve the community. Animal Victory stands firmly behind me and will pursue all legal actions if these protections are ignored or if further harassment or harm comes to the cats occurs. All I'm asking is that the city follow the same laws I do to protect, not to punish, someone trying to do the right thing. Thank you.
Could you explain, so the kennel operation, could you just explain what this looks like?
That will depend on the permits I can get. I understand you can use like 25% of your garage if you want to, or what I would like to do is get like an 8x10 or a 12x10 shed and fence off the outer part of it and have a litter box attached to the side of it that would be weatherproof, so that when I catch these cats, I have a place for them to go before I can get them spayed, neutered, adopted out, or turn loose if they're too feral.
That was my next question, is when you said return to their environment, what's, you know, I'm not sure what the right path is there, if to turn them loose in the wild necessarily.
Like say, the new path that's being put along by the city garage. There was 4 cats displaced from it. There was 5 kittens killed in it, and I've had to bury them. I could have got those cats if somebody would have said something before this started, and I could have taken like the Itty Bitty Kitty Rescue or something like that, where they wouldn't have been harmed. But I'm not just a cat lover. There was 4 kittens that were attacked and mauled by a dog. A dog that got loose from a neighbor. He's a dog. The dog's gonna do what a dog's gonna do.
Sure.
But the last surviving kitten I adopted out 3 weeks ago. I tried to do the right thing. I really did. I'm sure that there's gonna be some opposition to this, and I'm not worried about that. My only concern is, can I reapply later?
So if we don't grant it, is that your question?
Right. Can I reapply at another time?
Yes?
That's what I need to know.
Okay.
Can you speak to the program that you were referring to?
Animal Victory,
Yes.
what would you like to know?
What can you tell us
Yeah,
about that?
they're a
Can you
national-
even just restate what you said,
They're-
because that's not part of your petition?
They are a national advocate for spay, neuter, and release
Yes.
cats all
Yeah.
across the United States.
So like like a trap neuter release program?
Yeah.
And would your program, or what you're proposing, be
based on that.
subsidized by them?
Yeah, they have already subsidized me, and I have, had in the last month, 3 fixed.
Okay. So tell me about your affiliation with this program. What kind of subsidies are available to you?
To me, it's basically, financial help.
Okay, well, correct, but, I mean, how does it work? If you
I
trap
asked them if
3
they can help
cats in a month, will
If
they,
I'm out of money,
okay,
I ask them if they can help.
okay,
That's why I took a part-time job, is trying to do some of this stuff.
sure.
So it's just
Are
financially?
there any
much, yeah.
guarantees? Are there any guarantees that you'll receive subsidized funding for this, or?
No, there's no guarantee whatsoever. They might dump me tomorrow, they might dump me tonight. It's just our town.
Okay, do you have any, are there like specific membership requirements
No,
for
no,
this?
No, none.
Do you have to maintain any kind of minimum standard within your home to be able to provide care for a cat that you've trapped, neutered, and prior to release?
I'm talking about the feral cats outside.
I understand that, but if you're coming in here and you're representing that you're affiliated with this national organization, I'm simply asking what kind of standards they hold you to.
Oh, they hold very, very high.
What are they?
I would have to have them get in touch with you to let you know.
Well, what are you prepared to do to maintain your membership and affiliation with their organization?
Everything I have to,
Which is what?
which would probably be the upkeep of the kennel, making sure that the cats have all their shots, all their, immunizations, the kennel would be clean.
Okay. Is there a maximum number of animals that you would have in the kennel at any one time?
That is debatable, because it was said that I had 50, and most that was ever seen was 10. Once I put the food out for them, there was 10.
Okay.
And I was standing right in that doorway when that picture was taken.
I'm not questioning like what you've done in the past or what's been purported to be out there.
The most
I'm simply
I've
asking,
seen-
what can you handle
I
and
could
what are you
probably handle-
prepared to do?
Are you talking a combination of grown cats and kittens
Yep.
altogether?
What are you asking BZA to authorize you in terms of a kennel? How many cats would you potentially have?
I would say that I could potentially do 20.
Okay. Sheltered,
Yes, that's
like
what I'm
trapped,
saying.
neutered, like sheltered, fed, everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I have to ask the question, because you mentioned 2 things. You might use a garage,
Yeah.
and you might use a shed, I guess.
Well, I'm petitioning to get a kennel, but I have to either put it in what I currently have, or I have to build the kennel.
But we would kind of like to know what your
I would like to have-
plan is.
I would like to have a shed with a fenced outer portion. That's
Okay.
what I would like to do.
And would that come from the Animal Victory people?
They might help, maybe.
Okay.
I couldn't say for sure, but most of it would be my expense.
Okay.
Would you be able to get any kind of written commitment or any kind of information in writing from this national organization that would pledge support for your efforts?
Yes, I'd say I probably could.
Is that something that if the board gave you an opportunity to obtain that, could you bring that back to us to see
Sure.
what kind of information and parameters they would be willing to assist with?
Sure.
Okay.
Now, exactly what is it that you want me to ask? As far as,
Kind of formulate a game plan.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
You know, would they assist with building an appropriate shelter?
yes.
Would they be willing to subsidize up to, spay or neutering of so many animals on a monthly basis?
Yes.
those are the questions I think would be helpful to know.
Yeah.
And then I would also say, what are the requirements? What will they're handing you
What
money.
kind of
What
standards-
requirements and standards would they have?
You know, if they're willing to stick their seal of approval
Right.
on your window and say, you're a qualified member,
Right.
what does it take to be a qualified member?
Okay, well, I need to ask them what it takes to be a qualified member.
Correct.
What their standards are,
Yes.
and if they have any,
What kind of financial subsidies are they prepared to do on a regular and consistent basis?
you write this down?
And what kind of subsidies could they provide in order to make sure that you have an appropriate shelter and kind of kenneled area
Yeah.
for these animals?
Yeah.
I think those are 4 primary questions that if you could assist the board in answering, may give them additional information to be able to make
I've
a,
got all kinds of ideas, like solar power to make the heating pads go.
yeah.
Things like that.
So I've got
I
a
mean,
question
and it
as well
sounds
on
great, yeah, but
because you're saying spade, and neuter, and
Yeah, I take
shots.
them up to Humane in Fort Wayne's Way.
Okay, it's not being done there.
No, not at my place.
Okay.
No, I trap
So
them.
I didn't know what was going on there. I don't know.
I trap them, I take them up to Humane.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah.
How long do you keep them?
It depends. If I can adopt them out and they're more docile, more of a community cat than they are a feral cat, then usually anywhere from 3 to 6 weeks.
So I think the second part of that is, so you have this association or potential affiliation, right? Questions to ask them, but also what would be your plan if we were to approve or not approve something? We need to see a plan. What is the building going to look like? What's the housing? We would need to know.
That depends. Like I said, what I wanna do is I wanna do the shed, and I wanna do the fenced in around the shed.
Mhm.
That's what I wanna do, which means I would need permits for a shed
Absolutely.
and permits for a wire fence.
Yeah, and what you can do in the meantime is work with this, just ask, what are the requirements based on my property size, what is allotted or what's allowed? Because that's a whole nother discussion, right? So you would need to get that in order to, I think, that would be very helpful to all of us sitting here, I assume, I speak for myself.
One
but-
could possibly flow right into the next, so.
Because
And currently, are these, what you have there now, are these just outside and they just come back and eat and come and then leave and,
Usually they will, right now, there's a lot of them missing, I don't know where they are. But I've had 2 brand new kittens show up and 3 brand new adults show up.
on top of, no, you said
What were
new.
there before, yeah.
Yeah, what was there before? So you got 5 more now,
Yeah.
on top of what, like 5?
Whatever there was before, 10, whatever it was.
Okay.
And currently they just run free,
Yes.
basically.
And if you did get a kennel permit, would they still be running free, or would?
No, they would be inside the kennel. What I would do is, I would put them in the kennel, I would get the cats fixed. I would put them back in the kennel if they were adoptable. If they were too feral, I would take them back to where I picked them up at.
but at least they would be spayed or neutered
Right,
at
and
that
they would not be
point, and then they would just be out and about.
Okay, sure.
But they would be contained at your premises.
Right.
Yes, that's kind of what we'd have to see, of what you're gonna do here before we can even start to vote on anything
Well,
that has to do
and,
with,
Animal Victory told me that we needed to see if we can get the variance, and then we would talk about the shed and the fence and stuff like that. This is what
Okay.
they told me.
I think they were wrong.
Well, yeah,
We have to see what you're gonna do before we can actually try to approve anything.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
and maybe in terms of dollars, you know, they may be wanting to see what your plans are, what kind of, I don't know,
It's
what
not
kind of,
income-based.
I'm not saying
No.
that, but before they might be able to put a dollar figure, they may
On how
wanna
much they're
also
willing to-
see what kind of plans you have in place as well. And it's not that we're just gonna get into a standoff with
No,
this
no,
group
you
or
won't.
anything, you know, where
Yeah.
we're, you know, it's a
Yeah.
catch
It's either
22.
yes or no is what's gonna happen.
But if they can provide, or you can obtain some additional information about their willingness to help facilitate a kennel service at your residence, That's gonna go a long way in assisting the BZA in making some decisions, okay?
Now, is there a phone number that I could have him call?
We're gonna rely on you to obtain that information and provide it
But
to
then
us
once
as
they
part
give
of
me
your
the
application,
Okay,
okay?
So we're gonna do
So-
like we just did, we're probably gonna table this
okay,
until you provide all the information, and then we can come back and revisit it,
okay.
so.
And have a better game plan.
I appreciate
I
that.
mean,
It's
if-
like mowing lawns.
Sure.
Better grade.
Sure.
So, any further questions from the board at this point?
I do not.
Okay, so we would hear from, any opposition in the audience at this time? Seeing and hearing none, we would hear from, any in favor in the audience at this time that wish to speak? Okay, can you please state your name and address and
Sure. My
you have
name
2
is
minutes.
Kylie Simmons, and I'm at 1039 Winchester Street.
Okay.
There is no mystery that feral cats are a problem not only in Decatur, but in Adams County in general. Tom's kennel exception is a bigger issue beyond what we're speaking about tonight. There are blurred lines in the discussion that have been held so far. There is ebb and flow when talking about community cats. This is what we're talking about. This is not a large-scale project. Your wording says kennel, we're talking about TNR cats. Permission to TNR. The only way to curb this problem is to utilize this scientific-based program called TNR, trap, neuter, and release. With all due respect, there have been programs like these organized, offered, presented, represented, and begged for by citizens and animal welfare rescue groups in the local area, formally and informally. Unfortunately, it has been felt that we have been, so to speak, beating a dead horse. The question lies at where do we go from here? I am a neighbor of Tom's. We live in a neighborhood well known for a serious feral cat concern for many, many years. Anyone who enters the neighborhood can see this on a daily basis. This is not a secret. Many other neighborhoods struggle too in Decatur. What I can say is that Tom has done way more in a positive manner, even more than I have in regards to the cat population in our neighborhood. He is someone that walks the neighborhood daily. He has befriended these feral cats to the level in which he can catch many of them by hand and gets them spayed or neutered with his own funds, which I know are limited and sometimes cause financial strife. As a prior board member of a local rescue, current volunteer, and neighbor of Tom, our county needs folks like Tom to continue the work he is doing with the cats in our neighborhood. And if this exception is what needs to happen, please approve this today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, any others in favor that wish to speak? Okay, just state your name and address, please, and
Tim Rambo, 328 North First Street, Decatur.
thank you.
The kennel sounds like a really good idea to me. There is a cat problem in that area. I lived in that house in '87, and there was plenty of cats back then, you know. It's just an area that there's a lot of cats and kittens. I think to be able to help control that, the kennel is a perfect idea. I don't see anything but positive out of it, and that's really about all I got to say, you know. I think it's a wonderful idea.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tim.
I'm a dog lover, by the way. Rottweilers. Rottweilers are good. Yeah. I take on a Rottweiler before I take on a fur cat. Anything. Anyway.
Anyone else wish to speak in favor? Okay, seeing and hearing none, I'd ask the board for any final questions or comments for the applicant.
Nope.
Okay, then I would entertain a motion to table this discussion.
Same thing, 4 weeks, you wanna go?
It would either be, 2 weeks would be December 2nd, and 4 weeks would be December 16th.
I'll make a motion to table this for 4 weeks.
Yeah,
Second it.
and I would ask, as you have a motion on the table, and I would ask, how long do you need, do you think, to come back with a plan and talk to?
Talk to them tomorrow.
Okay.
So the 16th we'll give you a month, put everything together.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, okay.
So a motion on the table, a motion to table for 4 weeks, reconvening on the 16th of December. We've got a motion and a second, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Any further discussion?
How do you want him to follow his information that he gets? Do you just want him to wait till the night of the meeting, or do you want it ahead of time?
I'd like to have it ahead, I would
Yeah.
like to have it
Yes.
ahead of time if at all
Yeah.
possible.
Through our office?
If I could get everybody's email address, I can.
No, you can just funnel it back to
To Lisa.
Lisa and Kurt.
Or send it to Kurt.
Yep. assuming his email works and the connectivity problems go away.
Exactly.
Print it.
That's kidding, but do appreciate that. So we'll reconvene on the 16th. So motion second, no further questions, comments. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. So we will see you again on the 16th and look for the information ahead of the meeting from Kurt.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes, Kurt, what do you got for old business?
We have no old business,
How about new business?
business,
Okay, cool.
Two continuation, right?
Continuation. Ann, you got anything? Okay, well then I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
Oh, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.